Welcome, 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 everyone. I am being very seasonal. It's pumpkin spice season, right? So I've got my pumpkin spice costume on. And I'm just delighted to be in the energy of fall, or whatever we like to call it, autumn. Interesting time for transformation, which has a lot to do with um, wellness from within. Transformation starts from within. The truth of the matter is that everything starts from within, but it's a process. And so those of you that are here live, a lot of you probably already know the process and that it is a process. And those of you that are delighted to catch the replay, because we have the capability of doing that. When we can't show up live for something, we have it recorded this time. Sometimes I forget to record, and I think that that's just divine time. But it's all about transformation. It's all about wellness. It's all about going in. And one thing I heard today that I'll share with you, because my life is always happening very presently. As I said before I hit record, I feel like I'm stepping back into computer land. I have been traveling for 18 months, really. I kept thinking, well, I've been traveling for the last couple of months. Shiraz, probably, I know you get this too. Like, I've been traveling for a while. And why I'm sharing that is because a lot of us that are speaking more and sharing more and creating massive amounts of impact, we travel a little bit more. And I know Laura Ann was traveling. In fact, I saw her last month in Sedona, in the sacred land, and really anchoring into the wellness, really making sure that our practices and our rituals and all of these things are in order, or that we have a good, consistent flow of them, becomes, if you ask me, becomes almost priority during these times of travel, carrying my energy, carrying my wisdom, carrying my physical body to different lands, to different weather, to different frequencies. And I will be the first to say out loud that if it wasn't for my wellness practices, and I share a presentation on this, like the 3 keys to optimizing your well-being, uh, I would probably be exhausted, because most people want to pin that on me anyway. You must be exhausted. And I'm like, no, I can't get enough. In fact, I can't get enough. So that is what wellness, I have prioritized my wellness, and I'm happy to be in the 3rd month in growing this community of experts, of leaders, of committed individuals that are part of our biggest transformation of choosing wellness from within. So welcome again, those that are live. I'm so glad that you're here. Those that are on their way in the room, I'm so glad you're coming. And those that are catching the replay, I'm Mary, and I really am here to support soul-inspired individuals, human beings, entrepreneurs, business owners, lovers of life, with optimizing their well-being so they can create that level of impact, so that they can be in the limelight, in the spotlight, and not feel fatigue or exhaustion or duality. I'll talk about that later. And to be able to step up and stand on that stage with their voice, with their book, with their method. Get excited about it. My little pumpkin spice is about to turn into a frappuccino. Like, I get excited, and that's what I stand for and who I be. And just in a constant state now, again, back here in the computer land, just jumping right back in. So I welcome you all. I know quite a bit of you are expert speakers. You have put some presentations out for us. So again, those of you that are on the email, you will get the link. You will subscribe to YouTube. I know that you will. And you will keep anchoring into these presentations, to these truths that Laurel Ann shared, that Elise is sharing, that Drusella shares. Shiraz has got a lot of great value. Ray has a powerful message. We all have powerful messages. Lakeisha, I think we met you last time, also a powerful message. Fun thing, before I unmic all of you and we get to chat, I don't know, Lakeisha just disappeared. Just post in where you're joining from. Where are you in this fantastic world today? And what are you most grateful for? I like Drusella's golden wings. In fact, when I was getting your presentation together, I was like, Drusella's got golden wings.
Yeah, that is the logo for G100 organization, which is a global organization promoting gender parity. So we want to make sure that from our homes and our communities and our businesses, we do remember that women's men's rights. We have to have those conversations about things we agree on, we disagree on, so we can always come together and grow together and thrive together. So I joined the organization because of visibility. Again, my mentor met somebody who is the global leader about values and volunteerism. And then she said that I'm looking for leaders who are aligning with those values and volunteers. And my mentor said, Drosela can be one. And we just finished a summit on values and volunteerism. And tomorrow, guess what? Tomorrow is the International World National Values Day.
And
So shine you, yeah,
while you're
tomorrow.
unmiked, share a little bit about your presentation, because that's what it was all about.
Yeah, it was all about the values. I know we all have values, family, love, and my three values for the business are trust, community, and championship. And those values guide whatever I do. Because in our world, we see a lot of distrust between couples, between relatives, between employees and employers. And then when I was thinking about how diversity, equity, and inclusion should be the driving force of growth and success, I thought that when there is no trust, now they say that employees are quitting their managers. They are not quitting their jobs. There is something most likely they don't appreciate all the communication, or they are not heard, or they are not seen, or they are not giving opportunities to shine and share their voices. And then, of course, when there is a trust, this is how the community is formed. And then within the community, everybody champion each other like we are doing in this community you built, Mary. So we care about each other, we champion each other, we ask how we can support each other. And this is what I want to see in the communities, like nuclear families, communities surrounding us, business world. And also, personally, my personal values, there is a faith, there is a family, and friendship. And then I did share the top, the top 10. And one of them is health. And I like how you bring joy in business, in your wellness being. And without joy, and which is missing in many people who are committing suicide, it means they don't love themselves. There is something that is lacking. The people who are lonely, and then at the end of the day, they don't they ask themselves, why should I live? So we as a community have that social responsibility to take care of each other. And I always say that even in the capitalistic mode and world, community is essential. You don't have to be so individualistic to grow, because you cannot grow just by yourself. It never happens. So
Mhm.
yeah, I was sharing those values, and I wanted you, if tomorrow you have an opportunity to shine, share your values with the world in your posts, or talk about it in Facebook Live, that will make me happy.
That's a great invitation, Drusella. Thank you for that invitation. So there we have it. There's one invitation, or you could go do it right now, right? Go share your core values. Go post about your core values, or your values. We do exercises in some of my wellness retreats on that very thing. And I remember in March, we did a spring equinox retreat in Sedona, and I asked that question because I think it's important, even when you're working on yourself, right? You're working on your transformation, or you're opening and allowing. And I had one woman say, I've never thought about that in relationship to my business. So I think it's, well, in relationship to my life too, but I just thought it was very fascinating that people don't think about their core values enough, or a lot, or at all. And as you said, I love that summit. Again, I want to congratulate you. Drusella recently hosted her own summit. What is diversity and inclusion? And it was about employee retention. And as soulful as I am, I wanted to speak to that too, because I believe that lack of community is what's missing, and that is why we have a hard time getting wellness into corporate lands. But also, there's a part of it, I think, too, that the upper management, because they don't know it for themselves, they don't see the value in it. And I think that there's a lot lacking there, but I'll go on and on. So thanks for sharing, and thanks for submitting your presentation. So again, for those of you that are listening or listening to the recording, there is a link that you get through the email to subscribe to YouTube, and you can go listen to Drusella share all of that wisdom, especially for tomorrow. I mean, what a great invitation that was. Thank you. Thanks for sharing. Laura Ann, I'd love to bring your beautiful light to the stage. I always love.
Why, thank you.
Mhm.
Yes. So this month, my focus really is sort of an inward journey, and it's the journey of the west of the medicine wheel. I talk about that a little bit in my presentation. And this journey in the west, it sort of prepares us to look at our shadow, and it
Mm.
prepares us to face our fears and our mortality. So as you can imagine, it's just a lovely little walk in the park on a Sunday afternoon. And yet it is right. Yes, my sarcasm has not died yet.
Thank goodness.
Well, and actually, frankly, it's probably my sense of humor that has saved me in so many occasions. I can't even begin to describe it. Um, but I guess the reason I'm bringing that up is because for me, that definition of balance and wellness sort of shifts every time I go through this process again, right? Like I was recently talking to someone about how there is never a straight line
Mm.
towards any one destination, really. There's always a give and take. There's always a flow and an ebb, and there's always, pathways that seem like detours that bring us back to where we knew we needed to be anyway. And so sometimes I feel like those wobbles while we're refinding our balance are the opportunities to recognize when and where are the habits that are being cultivated, when and where are the thought processes being guided towards, one's highest well-being versus not. And so those are always really interesting to reflect on, and to just it's full moon tomorrow night, just flush them out and allow the universe to just take them away because they are no longer serving us. So
Mm.
that's
For a
the
moment, I forgot about the moon. I love this when this presentation came through the medicine wheel. I love the medicine wheel, and it's not religious, and it's like I'm gonna go into all these things that it's not. And I'm saying that from this very, I use the medicine wheel um as my business, with every part of my life and what I bring my divinity to the world. But it is definitely fun to play in the medicine wheel with all of your aspects. Every morning, in fact, I use it. It's part of my wellness. My morning wellness connection is to call in the medicine wheel and call in the elements that go with the medicine wheel. And the way that you depict it in your presentation, I listened to the whole thing. I was like, because I was drawn to it. So the medicine wheel. So for those of you that don't know anything about the medicine wheel, go listen to Laurel Ann's presentation. For those of you that know a little bit about the medicine wheel, yes, we can call it medicine. Think of medicine as like a dose of transformation, or a snap into place. It's that kind of medicine. But in shamanic ways, they really do use a lot of different medicinal pieces with the medicine wheel. But it's so fun to just work with the four directions, to work with the four elements that go in those four directions. This is part of my everyday. And I choose really to stand as my divine self, which means there's no duality. But because of my wellness practices and working with all these connections that we have, I love the medicine wheel. So thanks for sharing about the medicine wheel.
You are so welcome. Absolutely. Anytime. I'm also equally always in love with the medicine wheel. And I'm glad you mentioned that it's fun, because I was talking to someone else and she's like, oh, that sounds exhausting. And I was like, well, it is work. It is, but it's joyful work. And when we get to the other side of it, it is really beautiful. So even if we do dip our toes in the muckety muck to resolve some old wounds, we can shake it off pretty easily.
Well, and that's part of it. It's part of that within piece.
Yeah.
We want, ideally, at an optimal place of wellness or well-being, ideally, we need to go in and look at these things and understand that we get to make the choices to walk through them and be with them, or keep them with us if we want to. And we get to make all those choices. That really is
Right. And
amazing.
also, to go back to Drusella's point, that we don't do it all alone by ourselves, that even when we think we're fine, we are in community with other beings, and we all have reasons we're in relation to each other. And so we are all here to support each other, like it or not, and we can fight it if we want to, but we may as well get on board with being in support of everybody's well-being, because it just is going to make it a lot smoother for everyone.
That's right. You may as well invite it. Amen. Hallelujah. Praise the collective consciousness of all that is sovereign. That's going to go in the new text. Oh, Shiraz, would you like to share? We'd love to hear from you. Thanks for being here.
No, my pleasure. I have to actually leave at the top of the hour. I got double booked tonight, but I wanted to be here to support you. And what was the question?
Well, we were just sharing a little bit about where we are, maybe your optimal. I would love to hear a couple of your optimal wellness tips, things that maybe you have daily practices that support you and holding the space that you hold for your clients, which is really helping them reinvent or create their own reality.
Okay. Well, let's see. I wake up and drink like a big thing of water to cleanse my body and rehydrate first thing in the morning. And then I go walk the dogs, get some exercise, we run, we sweat. So come home, and when I shower, there's always music playing, but specific music that amps me up for the day, that gets me into a good mood. Because how you start the day will echo through the whole thing. And then with breakfast, with pretty much every meal, I ask my body what it wants, what it desires. So I scan through the kitchen and say, okay, what do you want? And most of the time it is breakfast, but sometimes it's like, you know what? We're having like what you'd normally have for dinner this morning, because those are the nutrients I need right now. And being in this place of really listening to my body and keeping myself in that positive mood with the music, and even when I'm having breakfast, I still watch cartoons in the morning, right? I will watch something to get me into that childlike state, that youthful energy, and then I will go start my day. And I've felt that that's helped me over the years. I get complaints from my friends that I should start aging at some point, and it's annoying them. So, and I have a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm. Sounds a lot like mine in that regard, like connecting, and then movement. Gosh, movement is a big deal, friends.
Mhm.
Even if it's, even if you're limited, even like deep breaths or moving arms, or sometimes I just do like these little rotations. It's powerful. How long have you been, if you had to venture back, how long have you, I know this isn't every day for you because it matters, like you said, how you start your day, the things that you listening to cartoons, laughing. I love that. Getting started. How long would you venture to say that you've been in practice of your daily routine?
Since I got back from India where I cured my arthritis. So, yeah.
Yeah.
There I learned a bunch of the routines there. I added watching cartoons. They didn't tell me to do that. And but yeah, that was the huge wellness thing for me, in that I got rid of arthritis overnight. And after that, just learned that anything that's happening that's bad in my body, I want it to happen. So I got to figure out why, change the reason, and the illness goes away.
Yeah, and it really comes in alignment with you as a reality interventionist, and because as soon as you were speaking, you're present in every moment. Every day is new, and it's a very present. And maybe my body wants steak and eggs for breakfast. Maybe it wants, full-fledged peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Like really checking
Yeah.
it. I'm going to sit down with my peanut butter and jelly, and I'm going to turn on the cartoon. But for me, that too, that last bit of my after movement is always putting on powerful frequencies to listen to while I'm moving, like getting me
Yep.
amped up.
I guess I forgot that I have an audio that I have with my dogs that's constantly raising the frequency. So we're gone for like an hour, and
Mhm,
yep, the entire hour in that frequency.
yeah, it's good stuff. Thank you. Thanks for sharing all of that.
Thank you.
Elise, hi, welcome. Elise, you did a fun, let me
Hi,
see if I
everyone.
can remember the title of your presentation, how the law of attraction and the universe are like Amazon. And I just, I instantly chuckled at this title. I love that. So share a little bit about you. I know that you are joining us, really getting your presentation on this first month. So tell us a little bit more about you and your presentation.
Well, about me, I'm
Amazon.
literally like I'm like Shiraz. I'm about 12 on the inside. I'm about that age most of the time. But I consider myself, and it took me a long time to feel comfortable saying this, a personal development expert that specializes, or my specialty is in divorced women. But it's basically about empowerment and the wellness and wellness from within, and how we are powerful beings, and so many of us, what I like to say, don't remember. So we want to empower people to know about the powers of this world, the powers of the universe that we have within us. So that's my avenue to speak with women, but I love speaking to anyone that will listen to me. And my husband always says, when I make money as a speaker, we're going to be billionaires, because I never stop talking. But so I want to go around a little bit, because Gisela, what you said, it's been like a topic of a lot of memberships, and we speak as speakers, and I love what you're doing. So thank you for that. And I think what people have to do is, instead of saying, "What can you do for me?" all the time, is, "What can I do for you?" And I think if that mindset changed in the workplace, I totally, that would change the whole dynamic of a workplace, plus in the world. Some people are conditioned to think, well, what are you doing for me today? And I think it should be the other way around. And for Laura, and I think I know what the medicine wheel is, because I've touched on a lot of different type of things, but I don't specifically know. So I'm definitely going to tune into your presentation and also look into it, because I also I'll get to my topic in a minute, but I also feel it's very important to take into consideration how important it is to how you start your day. And we all may have a different routine, but it's all about wellness and what keeps our mind and bodies well. And my morning routine, it used to be, I used to compete. For those of you who don't know, I was an IFBB pro figure competitor. So it's like a bodybuilding bikini type of thing. So a lot of my years was spent on waking up and doing fasted cardio. And I was always a good place. I used to always be into high frequencies and stuff, but it was almost like a have to type of feeling. Like you have to do this because you're in a show. You have to do this because you're competing. And I was aligned with that, but now I wake up and there's no have to's. It's this want to. And my want to is, instead of doing that hardcore, let's say cardio, is I start my day with meditation and gentle stretching and affirmations for at least a half an hour. And then, at least, if I don't have enough time, at least 5 minutes to 15 or more minutes of deep meditation. And that's how I start my day. And then physically, I go to the gym a little bit later, but I also definitely have to move my body each day. So I don't think our world is conditioned to understand how important that is, to move your body, keep yourself healthy, and to start your day in a positive vibration. Because most people start off with, oh, I got to do this today. I got to do this today. What did my boss do? Like that. And then it spirals. So you can get out of control, which can bring me to what my presentation is about. And the correlation I did with how does the law of attraction in the universe, like Amazon, is because there's not one person here that doesn't use Amazon. You're lying if you've never used Amazon, at least once. Come on. So how I equated it, and I'll give a little bit of presentation, you can still listen to it. When we order from Amazon, we have full trust in that item is coming to us. And we do not get it tied down to the how, the when, the where, who's bringing it, the truck, all those little things that can overpower, your mind. We just know I placed my order and it's coming. And that is how the universe and the law of attraction work with our desires. And when we align ourselves with our desires and work in collaboration and co-create with the universe, it is just sometimes just as fast as that delivery coming to your door in a couple of hours, your desires. But your alignment, how I say it in my presentation, your alignment is your credit card. So if you're not aligned with your desire, you don't believe you can have it, you don't think it's possible with all those buts, then you can't cash out, I guess, if you want to, if you will, for that desire. So it's all about aligning. And a lot of what we're all talking about here is aligning with who we are on the inside, our connection to the universe, and what we really want. And what Gisela said, and you said, Mary, core values, like you have to have all that lined up and feel good about it and trust for everything to come to you, instead of saying, but I can't have that, I can't have this. Those are all like flat tires on the Amazon truck, or the plane crashes with all your stuff. It's full trust that what you want is possible and coming. You just have to line up with it. And many people listening may not know what any of that means. So you want to start to get some guidance on aligning with the true inner being that you are, and power of that inner being.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. If you can trust Amazon, you can trust the universe. And now, I don't know if it's Amazon or Walmart or both. Now you can get drone drops, right? I mean, that's how quickly you can manifest your desires when you state, I mean, if Amazon can drone drop, so can the universe. I mean, I think it's a great, catchy presentation, and it has a lot of value. So thank you for sharing it.
Thank you for having me.
Everybody always, you place your order with Amazon, like George Foreman, you set it and forget it with those things. Why can't you?
That's another thing I say a lot. I say, set it and forget it. Like set your intention and forget it. And go keep yourself in a positive vibration. Think about stuff that makes you feel good. Get out in nature. Keep yourself up here so that the packages can keep coming. That's your
so true. And receive them. I think that a lot of times people don't realize that that's what came to them. They're trying to see it in a certain way. I'll use an example. I did a nice long walk today. and I found a penny. And for me, when I find pennies tails up, it means I have to give it away. So I almost didn't pick it up. And it was like, no, my intuition to pick that up. And then I went to visit these magnificent statues of Jesus and Mary that are at the, whatever, they're just great statues. And we have lots of conversations. And so when I got to Jesus, I gave him the penny. And I was like, here you go. And then I went and visited Mary, and then I went back on my way. And would you know, just minutes later, I found 10 cents. Like I 10 times my money in seconds.
Yeah, that's great that you brought that up because
I
people want,
celebrated that.
yeah, people don't look at that. It's the same thing. You have to equate that. I saw a great, I don't want to take up too much more time, but I saw a great like meme, whatever you want to call it today. And I'm not going to quote it correctly, but something to the effect that you asked the universe for cake, and the universe gave you eggs, milk, flour, baking powder, all the things. And you sat there and said, I still don't have my cake. It's giving you all these things. You're just not seeing it in the correct way. So it's kind of like the same. And it's not really the same thing, but
Well, and
there are
I'm
many
going to
people
circle
that
it
would,
all in, because wellness from within, it really, if I can maybe, again, a show of hands, it really starts from choosing to create morning rituals or practices that bring you inside, and starting your day from the inside out instead of the outside in. Like you said, Elise, most people are still waking up with, what do I do today? What do I have to do? And I'm always saying, well, why not just change that to, who do I get to be? And then right after that, you can go to, what do I have to do? I don't care, but change it. Just change 1 mini ounce, right, Ray? Ray, welcome. Hi, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good,
Welcome.
thank
I'd
you.
love to hear a little, thanks Elise for sharing. I'd love to hear a little bit more about you if you'd like to share with us. All of you also can drop your contact links into the chat. And if you haven't connected one-to-one, I imagine, I know that there was a few connections last call, but connect with each other one-to-one, even if it's only for 15 minutes. It's powerful. Ray, tell us where you are in the world, and tell us a little bit about your business and how you support your clients.
Well, you know where I come from, so this
Yeah.
is, it's a little bit different than what everybody's here doing, talking about. But one thing I can mention, when all this first started, I was a long time I've been away from church, and I looked, I watched the people dwindling, and I said, why is everybody walking? There's less people here, and now maybe it was when they were always, the priest talks about the Bible, and if you don't have interest or knowledge about the Bible, you're just sitting there just to fill your time in, which everybody needs. You need to sacrifice an hour a week. I mean, you just have to, you were put in this world, so you have to give back. So when long story short, I was going to make a purchase I was going to buy a lot. My wife went away to Costa Rica, back to Costa Rica, where I am now, and I was left there. So I was going to buy a lot. Everybody's back in this is 2010, and I needed a sign. Am I going to make the right decision? Am I going to buy the right lot, the right place? You get all this. And I was in New Jersey, and the lot I had bought a lot already. It was in Arkansas, and I was going to buy another one in the same development. Okay, same price. And I kept thinking, well, do I need this? So I kept asking, and I don't know about all of you, but I asked God for decisions. I asked, give me a sign. I'm always was asking for signs. And a lot of times you get them. A lot of times he gives you signs and you don't recognize them. You're not ready for the sign. But that day, I need to make the call at 5 o'clock. 4:28, right there in front of me. And it just, believe in me. It was like a flat into, I can't think of that. As I found out, I can't think of those words. They have to come from another source. And believe in me, and I sat there and oh my God, I'm looking, I got the goosebumps, the wind passed through my ears, and I said, did I see that? Because now tell me, believe in me, it was just like it had been branded in my brain or my eyes, and so I said, okay, I saw it. And I told my wife, and when you talk about people, and well, God talked to me. And yeah, everybody's like, wow, that's really good. That's like, yeah, you talk, you God, him, why you? But you have to tell it because you don't care whether, I don't care whether they believe me or not. I hope they did. Well, some did, some did. But I know, the thing was, the calling, he didn't answer me whether I should buy the lot or not. Okay, that's trivial. That's another part. He's giving you another sign to go on and to continue to start. Yes, yes, I'm here. I'm here. I'm with you. I'm around you. I'm here. I'm listening. And that is the biggest. You can't get a better gift than that until 5 years later, when I got my second one. But I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready to become a writer. I wasn't ready to do a book. Okay, so, but it was a friend of mine. I told a friend of mine I was leaving Costa Rica. I cleaned offices and houses for 34 years, and now I'm here going back to Costa Rica. My wife is from here, and I'm coming back here. So I'm saying goodbye to everybody. The last one, Pete. Pete's a lawyer. Talked to him many, many times. 18 years I cleaned his office, and I told him the story about what happened with about my gift. What happened? He says, "No, not gift." He said, "Ray, what'd you do with it?" And he said, "What do you mean, Pete?" I said, "Ray, you were given a gift. I'm telling you, ladies, gentlemen, I wish it came again. This, oh my God, Pete, you're right." It was like I woke up. Okay. All those 5 years, I kept thanking him, but I wasn't ready for this one. I wasn't ready. I never wrote a book in my life. The next day, I went to bed. I didn't sleep that much. Next day, I woke up with the title of the book, okay, and what I was going to write about. That day, that one day. Now, I'm telling you, he's given me many signs after that, a lot of callings, and I always thank him. But he's here, okay. I have to tell you, he's here, and what I'm writing about is, well, married to, but that's for another story for another day. I'll tell you, but it's dramatic. Okay, what? Okay, real quick. I just wrote a course about stop watching porn. Stop watching. You help the children and yourself, the addicted. Okay, I'm reaching out. All porn is the children that is at the bottom that we need to think about. You can think about all the self gratification that everybody's getting out of it. But if you're destroying one child, and we're destroying thousands, women, thousands, children, 8, 9, 4, all different ages. Those are the lives, and if you would die without ever asking forgiveness, you will never get the key to the next life.
Thank
Okay?
you, Ray.
So
You know what I love about your story? Well, I love about it because like Drusella was saying earlier, we're not alone in it. We're not alone doing it. And like Pete came into your life and reminded you that, another person came into your life and reminded you that you had gotten this gift. And the next day you took action to start writing about what you feel is so important to you and what you're passionate about, really saving these children in that way, but also how it springs into how we need to find this well peace within us. We need to tune into who we be and how we are and how we're presenting ourselves out into the world and how we're setting that example and what we're like Shiraz shared about his daily routines and Elise, like what we're focusing on, what we're putting our eyes on, what we are ingesting, what we are tolerating, all these things that we allow to come before us have something to do with how we present ourselves, what we take in, what we ingest comes out. And so it's a powerful piece to speak to that wellness place, because if we can find more wellness, if we can find more trust inside of us, if we can find that safe space inside of us, we won't find ourselves tolerating or watching or allowing some of these external bits that are victimizing children, that are victimizing humans, that are victimizing people. It starts inside of each of us. And as you said, Laurel-Ann, it's like it starts with me. It starts inside of each one of us. And it's not for us to tell people how to do it or to force our opinion on them, but for us to do our wellness work and speak on what we're passionate about. And from that place of being well within. And I feel your passion for getting people to a place where they're not looking and victimizing children in that way, that we're not doing this. We're not trafficking. We're not doing these things because we've tuned into ourselves. We've tuned into our God or the God within us or the universe or the source. Just like you heard directly from that source, from God, believe in me. And I almost, when you said it, I almost like, oh my gosh, your heart's speaking to you, Ray. Like, believe in me. And God is speaking to you too, but the God within you is saying, believe in me, believe in you. And then Pete, it took 5 years, right, for Pete to come along and activate that belief back inside of you. I think that's, I love your story. So thank you. Thanks for sharing it. And thank you for sharing your passion about that. I know you're writing a book on porn and trafficking and all the things that are happening that people, true story, are oblivious to. They're oblivious as to some of the ways that that's being done and some of the powerful people behind it. Because why? Because what we're talking about, this optimal place of being well, first inside of me. And that's why I am passionate about this. That's why I am passionate about my practices. I am passionate about sharing stages and voices of all the different ways and all the different choices that individuals and experts like Elise and Drusella and Shiraz and Laurel-Ann and myself and you are really, Ray, just sharing our passion in it. Because that's the only shift that we can make. That's the only thing that we get to do, is share our truth behind it and the ways that we have found ourselves bettering ourselves. I mean, show of hands with your own wellness routines, how many of you have bettered yourselves? And how many of you have watched the people around you better themselves? It's powerful who we get to be in this, but I'll bring it back. You know, I said something earlier. This is what I heard when I was walking today after I found 10 cents. You know, Jesus gave me 10 times what I gave to him. What did I hear? Divinity dissolves duality. That means no more pretending, no more ego. Are you ready for this one? I know this one's going to rub some people. No more free will. Divinity is knowing that it's coming from the source. And there's only oneness in me. There's only unity. But I heard it loud and clear today, even with the free will piece. I was like, yeah, because free will still says, is it source? Is it God? Is it divine? Or is it free will? It's still duality. When we can come to a place of divinity, when we can come to a place of listening to that, believe in me, Ray, believe in me. And some of this may, for the optimal wellness piece, I put something out about this. This is about, you know, your health, your wealth, your freedom, all comes from being in optimal wellness. It doesn't come from 16 social posts. Maybe it does, Shiraz. Shiraz, does it come from 16 social posts?
I mean, maybe.
But behind those 16 social posts is a frequency of wellness. It's a frequency of what the cartoon that he watched today, or, you know, for me, it's a frequency of what I met when I meditated, who I heard I was. Claiming that, putting that badge on, putting that divinity on. For me today, it was divinity. You know, for Laurel-Ann, Laurel-Ann, share with us. I know that we just have a couple more minutes. I know, Shiraz, you're jumping off at the top of the hour. Would you share with us one of your optimal wellness techniques, your daily techniques?
Definitely. The one I absolutely do every day is tarot. I do a tarot reading. I really just to give myself, okay, what are the energies surrounding me and how can I best greet them today? That's really the one that's a non-negotiable for me. And I do find that every day that I allow myself to have one of those deep, juicy, like at least 15 minutes, maybe closer to a half hour, just like a meditation where I have no expectations. And I'm not doing it because I'm supposed to do it, but I'm just doing it for that blissful, joyful experience. I wonder why I'm not doing it every day.
Yeah. Isn't that funny? Why didn't I start this sooner?
Right. Right.
I want to hear comments back on this that are watching the replay. Why didn't I do that sooner? How many of you heard yourself say that with all kinds of things? I bet, Elise, you might hear that with some of your coaching clients with, I'm not condoning divorce. Don't put me in that seat. And I'm divorced once. But why didn't I do that sooner? Why didn't I choose that wellness part of this sooner? Could be from a man or a woman, but why didn't I choose my own safety or my own concern or my own self sooner? Drusella, I'd love to hear one of your daily techniques, if you have one, a daily routine that you have that really optimizes your well-being for the day.
Thank you for asking, Mary. I wake up and I do a short meditation. And then when I go out of the bed, I will go to drink water before shower. And either I do affirmations, and then I have optimistic read that I read. I read it. It's on a plaque. It's in the front of my office, and I have another one in my living room. So those are the three tools I have. And I wanted to ask you, when we were talking about these values and volunteerism, would you talk about how the young generation, and this can apply also to the wellness from within, how do we engage young generation because of all the things they go through? Somebody was talking about, for example, around the divorce, uh, to train people how to do a happy divorce, because like children and the people who are separated also, they have maybe wounds because of, it's like love that you had for a long time and then you have something breakage. So, and we're talking about how do we instill these good values in the young generation. And I was thinking now when you were talking about unity and things, and also one thing we talked about today on the visibility summit, you see a lot of division at the political level. And we were talking about how we as the coaches, we don't have to, I know there are people who say, don't watch the news. I tell people, I have to watch the news because I have to know what is happening in my community and what is impacting me, because maybe I was a politician one time, but we were talking about what is our contribution to unify, especially here in America, because there is a lot of division, there is a lot of, how people lie, how they communicate the wrong information. So it can be another topic of another day, but I just wanted us to be self-aware and not to leave the things to go. When we have to speak out, we have to do that. And I know elections are coming and something we have to think about, because those leaders are coming from where? From our communities. So, and if coaches can do miracles in solving people in different area, different and diverse problems, why can we help politicians to solve those issues? It's just one thing that came to mind I wanted to share.
It's such a fun invitation to open up, and it's a great question, and it's really powerful to think about. And every ounce of my body shift happens with me being an example of shift. And to address, and I don't talk about politics a lot, but just to address the idea of, we just live in a different paradigm. And so we have to be the example of that. And we're looking for change. We're looking for leadership change. But if we're still going about choosing leaders in the same way, how are we changing? And how can we change? We can't change that for the youth. We're still practicing an old paradigm. We're still practicing the same way. And most of our media, most of our outlets, most of our externals, they're still practicing that way. Now, I can celebrate, and this is only in my life and not from a selfish standpoint, but change can only start within me, and it has to go out. But I am watching, I do have 2 young adults in my life, my daughters. They chose me as a guide. Somebody asked me if I was a mother or a friend, and I said, I don't know that I'm either. I'm a guide. But I can see them shifting, but not in a way that maybe society thinks that we need to get the youth more engaged and showing how important choosing our leadership is, but in a sense that they create their own reality. And that this might be going on over here and this might be going on over here. Now, this is me, and I'm not saying I'm right or wrong. I'm just sharing my open piece of answering, or how I'm doing it with my own children, or with the souls that chose me. And their lives are different. And by measure, as I said, I'm divorced once. So the father of these 2 brilliant lights in the world still comes from a different paradigm, a different place. They're getting to see the difference, and they're getting to choose differently, even under the influence. So I can only speak for myself. I don't know that it answer your question, but when you say that to me, it just says to me, just keep being an example of what I wish to see, which is a shift, a bigger shift. There's another way to create community, and maybe some of these systems are ready to fall, and but it depends on where you're coming from. Laura Lan, I love that your hand's up. So hi.
Yeah, I just felt like I was like, should I jump in? And I just kept wanting to, and I was fine. I'm like, okay, I'm just going to jump in, because I think it's so important to recognize our histories. And especially, we are in the month of October. We are leading up to Halloween, which is like the one time of year witches are allowed to come out of the closet. And I just watched a documentary last night called The Burning Times. And if you can get over the like late 70s, early 80s aesthetic of it, it has the most important messages right at the very end. And it's saying, it's not enough to heal ourselves, because if we don't live in a political environment where it is safe to be a healer, to be a wise woman, to help other people heal themselves, because that's what they don't want us to know, is that when we heal ourselves, that is radically empowering. When we know that we have direct access to divine consciousness, and we don't need somebody else's church and somebody else's Bible. And if that's your jam, that's wonderful. That's great that it works for you. But we need to make sure politically that it is safe for us to do the work of helping our communities heal. I just wanted to put that out there.
Please. Please. Elise, yes, please.
Giselle opened up a lot of rabbit holes we can go down.
Love it. No, I mean,
Love it, I love it, I
we're a
love it.
community of this.
First and foremost, I want to, let me just go in an order where I was thinking. When my sister had committed suicide, I had a younger sister that committed suicide at 18. And I can go down, that was all, I believe, pharmaceutical related besides her mental illness. But I just want to bring that up, because what I feel, and I'm also on a mission to do, not just to divorce women, is to condense this for the time for this conversation is if we could guide the young, I'm talking young, I'm talking kindergarten, and teach the inner wellness, then you'll have the better adults when they get older. Like I joked around when I was getting into coaching, should I coach divorced women or should I get them when they're younger before they F up? And, you know, like you get them when they're younger. I curse a lot. I'm trying not to curse here. You know what I mean? But as a whole, I think a society, and we're starting to get there. We're starting to get to that, you know, if you're into all this, the new earth, to where, you know, we say politics, it's not either side. It is that powers that be in general do not want us empowered. Because if we're empowered, then we don't need their medicine. We don't need all the things. So it doesn't even matter what political party. I think that's just even above them. It's the powers that could be. But when we are the light, then we pass our light to others, and that's all we can do. But I think as leaders, if we can start it younger, even in the, you know, the school systems are antiquated, even the way children learn is antiquated. I mean, we can go down that, you know, that whole thing. And I'm actually working with another friend coach. She used to be a school teacher, and we want to bring meditation into the schools. We want to bring all this self-regulating things that we take for granted almost, that we do on a daily basis, that no, you don't need drugs. You're not ADHD. You're just not meant to sit in a school chair for 8 hours and just, you know, open up the minds of the powers that be. But as you know, I don't know if we'll see that fully in our lifetime, but that is what empowerment means for all of us. And the younger we can start it, because all it is conditioning. So the younger we can start the conditioning for wellness, I think the better our world will be when the people get older. So I appreciate everyone for bringing up the subject matter, and I ride my broomstick every day. I don't care if it's Halloween or not. So
I think I learned in Portugal, I think my 21-year-old daughter is a witch. Like all of a sudden I'm in this shop and I'm like, oh, Emily's a witch. She's got the witchy like vibe. Thank you. Thanks for sharing all that. And I like that too. I do believe that to get to the youth is to get into the schools, but again, it has to get worse before it gets better. And I just want to know, as there's a reality interventionist right there underneath me on my screen, but also in that form too, we will see it. We will see it in my lifetime. I am here and standing in it, and I'm seeing it in my children every day. But for me right now, that's all it can be for me is with my children, because I'm not in that school paradigm. I mean, Kristen's a senior in high school, but I have given her many invitations to try things different. And she has looked at me with that senior grin and said, Mama, I have to go to school because I have friends there. So, but yes. Any other, Shiraz? Yeah, we'd love to hear your insight also. Thanks, Elise, for sharing. Thank you again, Drusilla, for opening this up.
Oh, one of the things, like what you just said, it has to get worse before it gets better. What does it?
No. I heard it. No.
Okay.
No.
So let's just not
It
say
might
that's
feel like, right?
mandatory.
Thank you.
Right?
I had to flee my country so I can maybe think going back after 100 years.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah.
It is better. Every day is better. But yes, you're right. Thank you, Shiraz, for striking that.
So yeah, and I was just watching something by Neil deGrasse Tyson, and he was saying like you ask people if things are getting worse or better, and you get a lot of people saying, well, things are getting worse right now. But he says, if you look historically, it's been getting better and better and better and better and better. It's just from a small point of view, it feels like, oh, it's getting worse. So we know the world is improving. We know there are way fewer wars, there's more health, everything's getting better. So staying in that space helps you get through this world. The other thing I find really amusing is the powers that be that are trying to keep things in control so that they can be wealthy, except they don't get that they're in a world of infinite wealth and everyone can have everything they want, right? So someone needs to educate them a little bit more.
Mhm. That's fun.
well, I think they do know that, but they're
fun.
greedy, so they don't They think that they can hoard it all for themselves.
That's still a lack mentality, is even in the
Exactly.
face of all this abundance.
Right.
Yes.
And yeah, just before I jump off, the other, at least when you were talking about the Amazon thing, I actually during one of my workshops, I came up with that same analogy. Uh, and one thing that I also said that I don't know if it's part of your talk or it's not, is that once we put that order in, if we sit here and we go, it's not here, I ordered it, it's not here. It's like calling up Amazon and saying, cancel that order, send me a new one. And we can get stuck in this loop of constantly canceling the order and ordering a new one. So I don't know if that's something you could add or something you're already saying, but I was like amused. I'm like, oh, you did that. I did that too. So
Mhm.
Great minds think alike. What can I tell you?
So true. This is so true. Thank you all. Thank you all for sharing. Thank you for bringing that to light, Drusella. And again, in my own practices, it starts inside of each and every one of us, and that's how we create loving and lasting change. And it becomes a regular. Some people are still 1 foot in and 1 foot out. The more authentic we be about it, the more we embody it, the more we can see our communities embodying it, and the more then the state. And eventually, depending on where our focus is, none of that becomes our reality. And we start to see the bigness, is kind of what Shiraz just said. We start to see the bigness of it. Like, gosh, if you look back even 20 years, we've evolved. Has everyone evolved? No. But how, 20 years ago, do you think we would have found a room like this? Where the 6 of us, the 7 of us, the 8 of us, sometimes 25 or 35 in different rooms, or hundreds, that we could actually talk about this stuff, and even agree to disagree, that it doesn't, when somebody talks about their opinion of it, it doesn't create resentment or anger or bitterness. Because none of what anybody says, I love hearing other people's opinion. It doesn't create anything in me other than, I'm so happy to hear somebody's opinion. Like, it just opens my heart more. We learn and we grow. So thank you. It has shifted. We are changing. And how can we get the youth there is to open up more youth programs, and to find ourselves speaking to more youth and putting things out in that realm. We just don't stop. It's only when we stop that things stop. What I would do with that, Drusella, too, is use the medicine wheel, and from the direction, call in, how can I be of more support to the youth of America? And even having a summit on it. Jackie
Yeah.
Bailey works with a lot of youth. Her name,
Yeah, from Dr. L.
yeah, she was just in
Uh-huh.
Tanzania, all kinds of things, but Jackie Bailey,
Yeah.
you can find her. I can connect, that too.
I,
She's been
I know
doing a lot
her.
of, mhm.
Yeah, I know her. And then they just launched in a period for the youth summit on values and volunteerism after this summit we had. So I think people are taking actions, and
Yeah, and
um,
I sponsored, and I'll do it again every month if the invitation comes in. I sponsored a youth in the last Voices of Women Summit.
I
Margaret,
did
she
one
was
too.
10. Yeah,
I sponsored one too.
yeah. And so I think we
Mm,
already are doing it, but yeah, yeah. Keep on choosing wellness from within. Keep on sharing your tidbits about it. Keep on sharing your voice about it in more places with more faces.
yeah,
Like a great thing.
this was good stuff.
This is good information. And for those of you that catch the replay on YouTube or
Yeah.
in those comments, or make sure that you find us all on socials so you can connect with us. And, if it feels something that's supportive to you, that supports a mission or a purpose or a plan or an idea that you have, any one of these experts, reach out and connect. and follow and share, because this is how we get to do it. And this is just in the last 4 years that I have been an online entrepreneur. I have seen the massive shifts. So I thank you all that have connected here tonight. I thank these expert speakers, Drusella, Elise, Laurel Ann, I think Graham was missing tonight, and Red. And for those of you that are interested in learning more about speaking on this platform, you can connect with me anytime, any place, anywhere under Mary Gooden. That is my name. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. Go watch the presentations. Definitely this week, catch all of them. Catch Drusella for the values, for sure. We're in the frequency of it. What is tomorrow? National, it was International.
International World Values Day.
So that invitation, just in case you forgot it, go wherever you are. Even if you catch this a month from now, go on your social platform, go into your email, stand on the stage in your community. Maybe you're at Toastmasters, maybe you're part of Rotary, and share your values with your clients. Share your values with your employees. Share your core values with your family. Ask your children to share their core values with you. Get to know one another and your values, and guess how quickly people will send others that connect with those values and support you. So
I would chat with family. We have a chat on WhatsApp. So I will do that within the family as well.
Yeah, I think that's a great place to start. Any final words, speakers? On mic yourself. Any final things that you want to share for those that are catching this about being an optimal wellness, your health, your wealth, your freedom? All of that comes from optimal well-being.
Elise, are you only on Instagram?
Elise.
Yes, Giselle, I put the link in the chat.
I am not
Read
an
the chat.
Instagram person, even if it
Okay,
is linked
I
to
have,
my Facebook.
I'm on Facebook too. It's just my name, Elise Morgan.
Okay,
You're right,
okay.
Elise.
Thank you.
I'll bring it down. I'm going to bring it down to the bottom. There you go.
And eat well if you are not eating yet, because today is the World Food Day, October
One thing
16th.
you just
And then-
reminded me too. I wanted to say this to the listeners too. Water, 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 water in your body. 70% of your body is water. Water, water, water. Both Shiraz and Drusella mentioned that is their part of their daily wellness practices. Okay. Anything else, Laurel Ann or Elise, that you'd like to share? Thank
Water
you.
is life.
Water is life. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Until we meet again next month, I can't wait to see you there. Find a new way to choose your well-being. Put a new part, new idea in your morning routine. Drink just 64 ounces of water. Of course, you'll have to go to the bathroom right away. I get that. But, choose more water. Choose more positive affirmation. Listen to powerful music. Listen to, go watch the presentation Laurel Ann did on the medicine wheel. Learn something new. Add one direction a day to your daily routine and watch. Your life will change. I guarantee it. It is guaranteed. If you change, your life changes. I love you all.
And I forgot to say one thing. I have this notebook. It's great thought a day. My niece gave this to me. So every day I write 10 things I'm grateful for in the book. And then on the bottom, I put my intentions. Which intention, what I want to accomplish in the area of health, wellness, financial freedom, career, all those things.
Yeah, let it be easy, let it be fun is what I say. Make it fun. I pulled the card. I have to share this because I think I know Laurel Ann will appreciate it. I pulled this card, the spiral, yesterday, and these are just fun, right? Because why not have fun in life? And so when I went first of all, it reflected a portal or a spiral staircase that I walked through in a castle in Portugal. So it reminded me of my trip to Europe. And secondarily, the invitation in the card was go create your own spiral with leaves and twigs,
Mhm.
nature. So I did. So I've been walking through my spiral. I got petals from, we have Mexican petunias. And so every time that, every day they drop their purple flowers, maybe they're called something else, but every day they drop their flowers. They bloom in the morning and then they drop them. So I went and collected all those petunias that were still bright purple and I made my spiral. Well, today they were dead. And the tulips that I had in my room, all of those were ready to go. So I took all those petals today. Let it be fun. Let it be fun. I got out in nature today because I went and created my own spiral again and I walked through it. And that helped me set me up to come up here to you guys. It was the last thing I did before I clicked the Zoom button. I walked in nature in my spiral. So and it took 3 minutes, less than 3 minutes. So find ways that make you smile, that bring joy. I think that Drusella brought that word up at the beginning too. Find a way tomorrow, simple way that makes you smile or brings you joy, even if it's turning on a cartoon like Shiraz mentioned.
Mhm.
Yeah. All right. I love you all.
Love you too.
Have an amazing October. Go get some pumpkin spice and everything nice. Bye for now, everyone.